Can't do that. Let's start talking about the reality of our situation.
I'm
You
sorry.
guys just won't say it, will you? You guys just won't deal with this.
What?
We all
Help us out.
We all know what he's going to say. Come on.
What?
Well, say it so we can have the conversation, because I have something to say too.
Mike has said it for years. We've all said it. We have to change demographics, but nobody is willing to say what we want those demographics to look like.
But what would be the recommendation to change the demographics? If you could change the demographics, how do you do it?
I thought that's what we were here.
First of all, we don't have an environment where we welcome folks that are not supposed to be here.
Okay.
Oh, that's bullshit. Is that what you said?
Let's watch it. please.
Okay, so-
We're in a
so-
live commission meeting.
I know we're alive.
Okay, say for instance, tomorrow you could change the demographics. Who would you put in there? How would you put somebody in there, and what does it look like?
Let me speak to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have probably said this dozens of times. Lake Worth somehow has become a default repository for the poor and the indigent. But we absolutely refuse to talk about the number of people we have in this city and the drain that it's causing on our city services.
I don't know we have statistics. I know that the cost for police services, for example, because we have a lot of calls in certain areas where these conditions exist, is a resource sink for us. That makes sense.
Vice Mayor Amoroso asked a question. He said, what does the resident, if we're going to change the demographic, what does that resident look like, right? And so right now, I want someone who's earning closer to AMI, which is $67,000, right? That's the average household or median household income in Palm Beach County, right? I want that person. That person probably has a higher level of education than our average resident. This means people with bachelor's degrees, people with master's degrees, people with professional degrees, doctors, lawyers, whatever, right? That person I want. Outside of this part of the city, there's not a lot of spaces for these people to go. They don't have very many housing options unless you live in these neighborhoods, which we all know: College Park, Eden Place, Parrot Cove, South Palm Park, downtown. You're talking about 9 out of 11 census tracts have a poverty rate that's higher than Palm Beach County. 8 out of 11 have a poverty rate that's greater than 20%. Not every city has that. And in addition to that, every other city doesn't have the hang-ups that we have about creating space for people of affluence. How can we create housing products for those type of people? We don't have enough of it.
We have to have motivated sellers.
Sure, and we can we can't compel them to sell. But there are things we can do incrementally to make it harder for them to operate here in the city. Yes, through law enforcement, through code enforcement, through land development regulations that can encourage someone to say, hey, I can sell my property to someone for a lot more than what I bought it for because that person is going to be able to build XYZ building on top of it. There are steps we can take that we haven't taken. And I think we should really, if we're going to talk about demographics,